eyes have a red glow to them. As I look a bit clearer, I see that instead of the round pupil of a human eye, they have a slit, black slit like a cat or an animal. I then see that I'm looking at not a human being. I'm looking at something in a shadow form. I see a dark shadow form, and I see 6 to 7 sets of eyes looking directly at me through the window. I now realise why my body is shivering and shaking like a pig. As I look at them, these eyes lock onto my eyes, and I feel the intensity of that I am looking at a stack of demons. Now, I had felt demonic presence. How many of you have felt evil? Okay? And how many have seen men go red in their eyes in pub brawls, you know what I mean, and go off their tree and really do some damage to some people? Even small men, when they're demonised, I've watched them throw bouncers around like feather, you know what I mean? And it's beyond a natural fight. It's not natural, it's gone into another fight. Well, so I'd experienced evil, I'd felt evil, but I'd never actually seen it focused directly at me. Been around evil, but had never had it locked onto me. As I'm looking at these eyes, I realise that these eyes, these walls and these bars do not stop these beings. As they looked at me, they spoke to me. They said, "You are ours, and we are coming home." And I'm going, "You are ours, and we are coming home?" How would you like to have that rerun through your brain? So what I'm looking at outside of my body is telling me in the Spirit that I am theirs and they are going to come home to dwell in me, as if they already had been there. Does that make any sense? Well, I had never read a Bible, so I had no idea of what it's called. You remember what it's called? Matthew. Let's open it up. I did write it down. Matthew... Let's have a look. 12. If you've got your Bibles, let's turn to Matthew 12. 43 to 45. Now, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, it passes through waterless places, seeking rest. It does not find it. Then it says, "I will return to my house from which I came." And when it comes, it finds it unoccupied, swept and put in order. Then it goes and takes along with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the last state of the man becomes worse than the first. That is the way it will be with this evil generation. Not knowing this, I got 7 demons outside my window saying, I belong to them and they're coming home. What do you do? When you don't know anything. And no one's taught you anything at church. Well, I'm lying there thinking, turn the light on. You know what I mean? How many know when you got the boogeyman outside, mate, let's hit the lights, you know what I mean? Well, I'm thinking in the natural. I grab my torchlight, you know what I mean? Because I realise that if I continue to lock onto their eyes and they continue to lock onto me, they would, in the fear that's in my heart, enter me. So fear, I realised, was a place that they could almost enter me through your eye gate. Our eyes are the windows of our soul. I realised they could enter me if I, in fear, didn't do something. So I broke the look, I turned, I grabbed the torchlight, which is my diving torch, like I used to kill mosquitoes that get inside your mosquito net, because somehow the mongrels do it, you know what I mean, and you've got to kill them. So I grabbed my torchlight, shone it directly upon the window. Guess what? Nothing there. The trouble is, I am so frightened by what I've just seen, I'm thinking, these demons dwell in darkness. My torchlight is only piercing like a sword of light into a certain area. Light doesn't fill the room. Have they dived into another corner of the room where there's darkness? Do you understand? I'm thinking, mate, I'm thinking on the bed. And I'm thinking, I've got to get out of this bed, out of this mosquito net, get to a wall and turn a light on and flood this room full of light. And I have got 7 demons who are able to move in darkness, and I'm walking in the midst of this. I quietly get out of the bed. I'm shining the torchlight all over the room. You ever seen the Jedi sword? You know what I mean? Well, I'm flipping shining this thing all over the room. I have no idea what power they've got. I've got no idea what authority or anything I've got. So I stand up, and as I walk, I do this. It seems bizarre, but I was actually doing this with a light, physical light. Because when you shine a light into a place and they disappear, how many know that you actually think, well, that does work? I get to the light switch, I turn it on, I take 2 steps, my legs begin to shake, my whole body begins to tremble, and I fall on the ground 2 inches away from snapping mentally and going into cuckoo land. As I'm sitting in a mess on the ground, wondering what on earth I'm doing, I've got light now in a room, I'm sitting in a crumpled heap on the ground with 7 demons outside me, outside their house, trying to enter me, and I'm thinking, what on earth has happened? Why have I got the host of hell trying to attack me? What on earth has happened to me for this to have taken place? What's gone on? Well, I have God relive my experience for the last 24 hours. I literally go second by second, thought by thought. How many know if it's fresh? So I rerun my testimony in my mind. I rerun it. As I rerun the entire testimony until the point I'm now sitting on the floor, holding the torchlight, shaking like a leaf, and I'm thinking, well, whatever took place last night has directly affected me here. Did I just see God? Did I just come into the radiance and glory of God? Why are demons trying to attack me? What have I seen? What's happened to me? I hear the voice speak to me. This voice said, son, the Lord's Prayer saved your life. Pray it again. As I heard that audible voice, I thought, yes, of all the things that I did, the key thing that I did from my heart that was proactive was the Lord's Prayer. I thought, but I can't remember it. I lay there and said, God, help me remember the prayer. Next minute, words come in front of my eyes, deliver us from evil. How many know that's in the Lord's Prayer? I'm thinking, that's a good bit of prayer, isn't it? Deliver us from evil. I'm thinking, well, evil, I got it outside my window. God, deliver me from the evil that is trying to enter me. I then pray the entire Lord's Prayer. As I finish it, you know what God says? Turn the lights out and go to sleep now, son. My response, easy for you to say, you're up there, I'm down here, I've got a flipping pack of demons outside my window. It's exactly what I said. I said, yeah, sure, turn the lights out. Guess what? God said nothing more. I sat there for the next quarter of an hour thinking through options. I couldn't get any other option. I thought, if I don't turn the lights out, I'm a 26-year-old man. If I don't get victory tonight, this boy's going to sleep in fear of darkness the rest of his life. He's going to live with a light on. How many know there are people out there that will not sleep without a light on at night? I'm thinking, that's nuts. I thought to myself, well, what I'll do is I'll turn the light off and sit here with my torchlight, and if they come back, I'll turn it on. Hey, seems sound to me. I sat there and waited. Sat there for half an hour, started getting cold. Believe it or not, I'd got used to the tropics. I'm sitting here thinking, well, you're nuts. If you believe the power of that prayer has any effect, then you should just go to sleep. So I turned the lights off, jumped into bed, slept like a baby. Woke up the next day, walked into the kitchen. I saw my friends talking. As I'm hearing them talking, I realised that they are talking with their mouth, but I'm actually hearing the conversation of their heart. I'm actually looking at them. I'm hearing the mouth speak, but I actually know what they're actually thinking in their heart towards each other. As I'm looking at that, one of them turns to me and starts talking to me. The trouble is, I actually for the first time see behind the masquerade, I start seeing the heart of that person and what they think of me, really. And it's my house. I'm renting the rooms to them. As I'm looking at that, I'm getting very, very upset in my spirit because of what I'm seeing in the person's heart. As I'm doing this, I'm saying, God, what's happening? He speaks to me as I'm watching this. He said, you are seeing people in a new light. I thought, well, I didn't exactly like them in the first light. Now I actually see what they're really like. I don't really like people. Let me know that that's a problem.